Okay, I'll give you the injury update right now. So these players will not practice. Jordan Phillips, Dane Jackson, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, and then the rest will be out there in some way, shape, or form. So with that, I'll turn it over to you with your questions. Foot.
So, given what you just read there, how concerning you've got to face an offense that did what Miami did last week?
Yeah, we believe in the next man up, and we'd love to have those guys out there. We'll see how it works out here.
Ed was back to limited yesterday after not practicing last week. It seems like he's trending well. How is he doing it? Do you have a timeline?
Yeah, again, I'm just like I said earlier. I'm not going to get into the specifics on these guys, but just they'll be out there in some capacity, Catherine, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah.
Sean, was the decision not to walk through yesterday, was that planned, or was that based on kind of all the injuries you got Monday night?
Just a little bit of both. Coming off the short week and trying to get the guys some rest, and then some of the injuries also. Yeah.
It's one thing to watch film and listen to your coaching staff, but how valuable, or how much of a factor is Kyer and Christian never facing a guy like Tyreek Hill maybe play into the added challenge of going up against him?
Yeah, I mean he's a once in a lifetime player with his speed and his ability to go up for the contested catches and everything, and they've got tremendous speed on offense. They put up a lot of points and they do a great job offensively, scheme wise, and Mike does a great job putting them in position to be successful, and so it'll be a big challenge for us.
Growth have you seen from Greg Rousseau here early in the season?
Yeah, I think Jay has really picked up where he left off last year. Very conscientious, hard worker, very detailed. He's a pro, so I think he's really making good progress, and he's playing confident football. And he and Von have a good relationship as well, and that's helped as well.
From that relationship, that was going to be my follow-up question. What have you seen from that relationship that has maybe benefited Greg?
Well, I think just seeing it through the eyes of the helmet is how I like to say it. Right, the perspective that a veteran player has, that's seen a lot of things flash in front of his face. Here's an overset. Here's a player, a blocker that's profiling you this way. Chips and things that come into play. So just, I think on the field at least, Jay, just some of those things that come through experience and coaches. We've got really good coaches. That said, that extra gravy on that and the detail that can come from a player like Von, it just helps immensely.
Sean, similar question to AJ Epinesa. We've talked a lot about how it took him a little while to get going. But do you see in year 3 the progress you were hoping to see from him?
I see momentum really with that whole group. I do. I think, we've had a couple injuries there. Overall, when healthy, though, I see good momentum, good progress, development with that whole group. And I think they each have their own core set of strengths and bring something different to the table, which is healthy for us.
Outside of what you just said there, specifically in Epinesa, what do you think maybe he has made the most improvement on to get him to where he is right now?
Well, I think it starts with really being comfortable with the system in terms of what he's being asked to do and being able to execute that fast. So that comes over years of getting more and more comfortable with the job description, if you will.
Sean, is Mike here today, or is he out getting further consultation?
I'm not going to go there. Yeah, I'm not going to go there.
The Dolphins offense, they got the fullback and doing a lot of play action. Do you see elements of the San Francisco? Obviously, it's a totally different offense than you faced last year.
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, obviously, Coach came from there. So you always, bring certain elements, certain flavors there. The fullback's a really good player. I think he's an ex-wrestler also, just for the record. You may have to check that. But, that was a good pickup by them. And he has a certain skill set where he can catch the ball out of the backfield, block at the point of attack. They use him in different formations and different positions. So they're a very talented offense. Excuse me.
ultra familiar with Tyreek Hill. We've been the last couple of years. Leslie talked about the importance of getting to the football, running to the football. How much more challenging is that when you have Hill, but then also add Jalen Waddle into it?
Yeah, I mean, I may have mentioned this the other day. They've always, at least the last, I don't know, couple of years that I can remember, have had a talented roster, and now they add Tyreek Hill to that on the offensive side, and they're playing, at a high level, as I mentioned the other day, and the speed component to their offense is as good as there is out there.
In the regular season, since you got here, this defense far and away has given up the fewest touchdown passes in the NFL. How have you managed to be so consistent at that?
I think the players and the coaches really do a good job. Players buy into the philosophy, and the coaches teach it well. So really that's what I would say, Jerry. Nothing fancy, but really the coaches doing a really good job doing their part, and the players executing.
How does it reflect your overall philosophy, even going back to your previous stops, in terms of, you never seem to get beat down the field?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's we play prevent maybe a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make something up, here. It's just I think it's just good quality, sound play. We've had our moments too where it hasn't gone that way either. So, as well. So just trying to do the best we can and play good team defense.
I don't want to oversimplify by saying simple is a kind of word it seems like you play, which is just being in the right spot at the right time. It's not overly exotic. There's not too much going on. Have you had to kind of learn through coaching that if you do too much of that, then it can kind of throw you off? So just keep it as simple as you can and be sound in your fundamentals.
Yeah, we do stress, and probably I should have said that, Jerry, to your question, fundamentals. I mean, we want to be fundamentally strong, and there's an expectation of doing your 111, knowing your job, doing your job. There's an accountability that comes along with that as well to your teammates. So I think that's just probably a little bit more of, core values philosophically, what we place an emphasis on in the classrooms in particular.
You traded for Stephon Diggs. He was already elite, top-level receiver, and teams have gotten better since he's gotten here. How hard is it for a guy who's already at that level, a 99 out of 100 or whatever it is, to get that little bit extra and continue to improve when they're already one of the top in the game?
Yeah, that's I think really that's been neat to watch with Steph and just like I mentioned earlier, developing players and Steph coming in at a high level already. But watching him ascend even more, I think that's part of that's a result of a lot of things: our environment, staff, the players, Steph in this case, his rapport with Josh, really playing good offense as a whole. So there's a lot of variables and factors that factor into that deal. But credit to Steph and the work that he puts in. I mean, he puts in a lot of work, and that's usually players are successful and people for a reason, and part of it's because they work extremely hard, and that's a big part with Steph here.
This competitive side that we've heard so much about too. Any coach is going to need to also, sometimes read the room with players, quieter moments, stuff like that. How does he go between those two things?
That's a deep question. And probably a better question for Ken. I just think he has a good, again, going back to his playing experience, he's got a good feel for probably day-to-day what the players go through. And this week, coming off of a late Monday night game, and here we are in a short week, he's been through that before as a player. So he can read the room, as you say, Catherine, well from that standpoint. And living a day in the life of a player, he's done that. So I think that gives him an advantage that way.
You mentioned that playing experience. What does his college record mean to you?
I mean, that's I don't want to say it's once in a lifetime, but that's a tough deal to accomplish there. He was well decorated as a college player. I think a Heisman finalist. 1 or 2 years there. So how many people can say that they were a Heisman finalist once? if not twice. I don't know if I'm accurate with that, but I mean, he was in the conversation at least. So, and playing at a school like the U and with the players he had around him. I mean, you're talking about some real household names that were on his team.
Sean, what's your reaction to the Bobby Hart situation?
I'll have no comment on that. You know, we'll handle our business internally and look forward to getting him back when he's back.
How do you feel about the pass run balance? Obviously, the offense has been successful. How do you balance what's working versus what maybe you need to develop or would like to see over the course of the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we always want to evolve, and you know, we look at areas certainly where we're having success and areas of strength, but also trying to counterbalance areas where we're not. And right now, in a lot of ways, we're collecting data early in the season, right, so that we can continue to grow and evolve and become a better team overall. In this case, offensively. So there you go.
With the inconsistencies in the schedule early, we heard Deion Dawkins earlier in the preseason talk about how players are schedule oriented. What have you fallen back on to kind of keep it consistent for them despite playing Thursday, Monday, Sunday?
Yeah.
And now with all the injuries, what have you done to kind of ground them going into this game?
Yeah, you know, I had a neat experience this off season where I got a chance to go over and visit the Sabres and Coach Granato and Kevin Adams over there, and had a chance to watch them go through their pregame meetings a little bit and pregame routine. And that was one of the things that I was educated on over there. That schedule is very inconsistent, I guess is the best way to say, at least from my eyes, where we're normally 7 days, 7 days, 7 days. I think, you know, you just got to keep your knees bent and stay flexible and find what you can in terms of a routine in the midst of a little bit of inconsistent schedules here.
Was there any specific example that you kind of observed while over there that helped you?
I wish I could say, Matt, it's just overall watching them go through their routine, and they still found routine, you know, it looked like up till game time there. So I don't know what led, you know, what kind of preceded that, but in the hours or two before the game, they were seemingly, the players, the coaches, they had a little bit of a routine going there, which was interesting to watch.
How about for them balancing rest, you know, because that's a big issue for you.
Yeah.
And if they're playing multiple games.
Yeah.
Is that part of the big part?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I just think overall, all those variables and how you know, put together a schedule to include rest, because it's easy. If you want to be a coach, you always want time. You always want meetings, but everybody needs that valuable rest as well. So.